So, we have had quite the movement here in the NBA space, so let me talk about it.
It's my turn!
First of all, let us start with the latest big news. That is Monty Williams becoming the head coach of the Detroit Pistons. He has agreed to a 6-year, $78.5 million contract, which essentially puts you at like $13 million a year, aka the largest coaching deal in NBA history, which is in comparison to the highest paid coach this year. That is Greg Popovich at $11.5 million a year, which is essentially about $1.6 million a year more, which is interesting to say the least. And it shows you how serious Detroit is about making this work and making the playoffs probably, right? So it is a crazy amount of money, and it's a great place to get it in because the expectations are to make the playoffs right now, right? And for Monty, you get a huge bag and also get to coach a lot of young players, which he seems to like and seems to excel in. He seems to be great at building those relationships up. Well, if you don't count Ayton, but that was simply a characteristic mismatch. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, and Ayton will not be the only guy like that, but I think he has a really good, intriguing young core with Jaden Ivey, who I have grown to like over the year. Cade, who I loved in his first year. This year he barely played, got injured, so I can't wait to see Cade back with a vengeance. Then you also have Jalen Duren, who showed out in his first year and seems like a dog. Then you have the young projects in Marvin Bagley, James Wiseman, who still have a lot of untapped potential that maybe Monty Williams will be able to tap into. And of course the number 5 overall pick. And you still have Bogdanovic, you still have some solid players, and of course you have the whole offseason to go to, and we'll see if Detroit makes any big moves. And I am really excited to see what a coach like Monty Williams will do for Cade, for Jaden Ivey, for Wiseman. And yes, he did show some weaknesses in Phoenix, for example, not changing his system to a stubborn level, essentially in the finals where he stayed with Ayton on Giannis, and it essentially cooked him in the end. Overall, he has a really good coaching resume and seems like a genuinely good person, so that empowers his players, and I think that's a great fit for Detroit. Next up, we had the Bob Myers news that he is officially leaving the Golden State Warriors, man. And to be completely honest with you, I did not see this coming. Even though it was presented to us that it will probably happen, I still just didn't believe it, man. I thought he was gonna come back, and he did not. And I even have an upcoming Warriors off-season video, which I will now have to readjust with those Bob Myers news, that I talked about why I thought he would stay and he was coming back, but he clearly just did not have it in him anymore. And my best guess would be that he takes a year off at least from the NBA. Who knows if we'll see him again in the NBA, maybe not, but he was a Warriors fan.
And I was born in 75. And that was the last championship. And to feel like I had helped give this fan base, this community, did my part. Not perfectly, but as best I could to get some more of those things.
And in the end, he just couldn't do it anymore. Salute to him, man. He has been a great GM. He was a great relationship builder, and he was perfect for his job, for this team. And he maybe realized that his relationships with the players and, just how good of a relationship he has with these guys, it does not become easier to make tough decisions then, right? Those tough decisions are starting to come up for this Warriors dynasty. And, if I was a fan just like he was of the Warriors, and if I had those strong relationships with these core guys who brought us the 4 championships, I would not be able to do anything here, man. I would have to resign immediately. So salute to Bob Myers, man. So thankful to, I'm so thankful that he was the Warriors GM. He seems like a really good dude, and hope he finds whatever he's looking for next. Now, we'll see what Mike Dunleavy Jr. or Kirk Lacob bring to the table for the Warriors, but I would expect the GM to be Mike Dunleavy Jr. more than Kirk Lacob, because I don't know if Lacob wants this pressure on his son, but maybe he does, man. He is crazy about winning, and he'll do anything to win, so I'm sure whoever becomes the GM will be a solid choice, man. Whether it's Mike Dunleavy Jr., who is more of a scouting guy and was in Bob Myers' shadow these last 2 years, and then Kirk Lacob, of course, in the family. How much will Joe Lacob be involved? Could it cost him in the end? It 100% could backfire, but it's hard for me to believe a guy who wants to win as much as Joe Lacob would not get it done by any means necessary, even if it meant later on he would remove himself a little. Yeah, it was insane. It was insanely satisfying to hear him and Bob Myers talk about the Warriors over these last 10 years when, they became the GM owner duo and everything that happened. Kevin Durant signing, Andre Iguodala signing, those ups and downs, those titles, stuff. Just listening to them talk about these last 10 years for Warriors was special, man. And I'm forever thankful that this team and this game found me at the right time, because I don't know what I would do without it, to be honest with to be quite honest with you. And I'm thankful I don't have to know. And last but certainly not least, we had Nick Nurse becoming the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, which I find absolutely hilarious, because Nick Nurse was known as the Joel Embiid stopper for a bit, then Joel Embiid finally got the best of him last year in the playoffs, and his time in Toronto just seems to have run out. To be quite completely honest with you, I'm not sure I like this for Philadelphia. I'm not sure Nick Nurse fits with the players they have right now, and of course we don't know all the moves that they're gonna make in this summer, which, we expect pretty much every goddamn team to make a lot of moves, because this offseason just feels so huge and so important for, every team pretty much that wants to win. It's going to be truly intriguing to see what Philly does, so it's hard to judge based on what they have right now, but I'm not sure I like him with these players. And imagine Embiid playing 40 minutes a night with Nick Nurse, man. I don't know. We'll see what Nick Nurse does. He is still more of a defensive-minded coach, which could work really well for Philly. He is still a really good basketball mind, and despite the fit seeming wacky to me, I'm really intrigued to see what we'll see from this Philly roster and, the pairing of Nick Nurse with Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey, presumably. But we'll have to wait and see, of course, with every single one of these moves, how the rosters shape out when it comes to coaches. Until we see everything on the court, it's just speculation in the end. But those were my assessments of these big moves. There was also those assistant coaches from the Celtics going to the Rockets to Ime Udoka, which is intriguing. But I'm not sure how good they were, since they couldn't beat zone. And hey, if you want to put it all on Joe Mazzulla, you can. But I'm a little bit sketchy on that. But it's intriguing to see that Ime Udoka has that pull and, those relationship, that he, gets them away from Boston to go to Houston, of all the places. But Houston is serious about making the playoffs this year again. And we all expect there to be a lot of huge movement in this offseason. So we'll see. I'll be here to report it and talk about it as always. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Nick Nurse fits Philadelphia? Do you think Monty Williams fits Detroit? Do you think Bob Myers leaving is the beginning of the end for the Warriors? Let me know all in the comment section. And thank you all. Love and peace.